Hello, all. Four Ceases here. Hope you're having a peaceful and blessed evening. We've had a rough couple of days here with what's been going on in our media and in the state of Missouri, New York, and Ohio. And all of this has reminded me of a movie that I saw a couple years ago, maybe 8 or 9 years ago. It starred Matthew McConaughey and Samuel L. Jackson, and it was called A Time to Kill. It was based on a book by John Grisham. And basically, the movie is set in a small southern town, and there's this little girl. She's about 10 years old. Her mother sends her to the market to pick up some groceries, and the girl walks over to the market and she walks back home. And as she's walking back home, she is black, and she encounters on her walk back home these two gentlemen who were white that had been drinking at a bar. And they basically start sort of harassing her and throwing cans at her while she's walking with the groceries. And then they basically kidnap her and they both rape her. After the rape, they go and I think they throw off a bridge or something like that, thinking that she would die, I guess hoping that she would die. But someone does find her and takes her back to her home. They call her dad, which is Samuel L. Jackson, at work. He rushes home, and of course he is beyond devastated when he sees the condition of his daughter when he arrives. Long story short, the two guys that raped the girl were taken into custody and they're put on trial. And it's a very contentious trial because this town is mostly, segregated and stuff like that. But somehow I think the guys get off. You have to see the movie. Anyway, I think the guys get off, and Samuel L. Jackson had a feeling that they would get off, and so basically he has a gun stashed somewhere, and the guys are coming out of the courtroom, I think, or something like that, and he shoots them right there dead in the courthouse. After which then now Samuel L. Jackson is on trial for double murder, and Matthew McConaughey represents him. I know I'm sort of going on, but one of the most pivotal parts of the movie was when Matthew McConaughey, who again was representing Samuel L. Jackson's character, is doing his closing arguments, and he revisits everything that this girl has gone through, the rape, how they urinated on her, etc., and including the fact that she can no longer have children. And he tells the juror this entire story. Then he says, okay, just close your eyes for a moment, and now imagine that this girl is white. They did that, and Samuel L. Jackson does get acquitted. I'm telling you this story because in looking at the past 48 hours, now going into 72 hours, the common thread, in my opinion, seems to be value. Like, are all people valued equally? I sort of don't want to comment to each particular case individually. I will say, though, that the Eric Garner one bothers me a lot because, I don't know if you all have, but I have watched that videotape. And yes, there was a lot of going back and forth with this gentleman over the cigarettes that he's selling individually out of a pack. But then when you see all the officers on him and he is being choked and he is saying repeatedly, I can't breathe, it's really horrible to watch. And it's scary to watch. We are being observed right now around the world. And the way we in the United States handle this is sort of going to spill over into other countries, which, minorities have difficulties in some other countries also. So the way we handle this and the way we treat our own citizens and our own minorities here is going to affect how we're treated overseas. And the reason why I brought up the A Time to Kill movie is because I really would like for other people to step back and close your eyes and imagine being in these situations, or maybe being a minority on a daily basis and some of the things you may encounter. Now, I'm not, getting on this, oh, woe is me thing, because that's not me. I'm happy to be who I am, and I have friends that are other things, and we all get along just fine. But the reality of it is my experience is going to be different than theirs. And so hopefully people that are complaining that this is creating a racial divide, there are racial components to it, definitely. But also this is something else too, because these kind of things can sort of happen to anybody. We're all paying tax money into the system. And, they're trying to enact legislation wherein our law enforcement officers wear cameras. Well, we see what happens when there is a camera recording an event. It doesn't seem like that's really going to solve too many problems. But also, if I get in any trouble or I need help, who do you think I'm going to call? I'm going to call law enforcement. So that's why I'm saying that we need to try to walk in each other's shoes. But I just felt that I had to make a video statement on this. I can't just be getting on here talking about hair, because this is really serious. It's really serious, and it's really troubling, and it's horribly, horribly sad. So let's all say a prayer for ourselves and all the parties involved, and hopefully something can come out of this of value. Have a good night.